The Incredible Hulk is one of Marvel's many heroes who has the skill set of a Swiss Army knife. The number of feats he's proven capable of, both OP and flat out absurd, have left readers over the years a little baffled. So today we are breaking down some of the more strange abilities that he's pulled off over the years with our list of the top 10 superpowers the Hulk has that no one understands, but you might understand, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's get to it. And at 10, he can create more Hulks. No, we are not talking about procreation here, friends. Hulk's blood has the ability to not only heal others, but to turn them into Hulk monsters as well. Case in point, Bruce Banner's cousin Jennifer Walters. Jennifer became She-Hulk after Bruce gave her a blood transfusion, something that neither had anticipated. She had been shot by an enemy of her father's, who is the LA County Sheriff, and luckily, Bruce was in town and had the same blood type as her. His radioactive blood mixed with her anger over the situation would transform her into She-Hulk, but her powers were a more reduced version of Bruce's, and she could eventually control her transformations too. Now the only hang up with this ability of the Hulk's is that in order for it to successfully work, the other individual needs to have DNA that is a close match to Bruce Banner's, meaning it's only really going to work for relatives, but still cool nonetheless. Up next at 9, Power Source. The Hulk's body is always creating and radiating gamma energy, which makes him like a walking gamma battery, as noted in the Incredible Hulk issue 103 from volume 1. Now on several occasions, the radiation within the Hulk's body has been used as an energy source. While that sounds really neat, it can also cause devastating effects, so maybe think twice about asking him to help you charge your phone. In World War Hulk, this occurred when Hulk got so angry that he nearly smashed the planet to smithereens, and in the process, because of how pissed off he was, his body began to emit radiation. Conrad Zaxxon once tried to use the Hulk as a battery for weapons that he wanted to take over the Earth with. Now the Hulk can force feed large amounts of this gamma radiation to overload machines, or to drain enemies of their own gamma radiation, like he did to the second Red Hulk. The exact extent of how much radiation the Hulk can control at any given time has yet to be determined. In at number 8, he can survive nuclear holocausts. In the one-shot comic book called Hulk: The End, we see Bruce Banner and the Hulk roaming a desolate version of the Earth that has suffered a war that ended due to a violent nuclear holocaust. Hulk and Banner are the last ones remaining alive, all thanks to the Hulk, who is invulnerable enough to survive the fallout. Banner and the Hulk actually despise each other though, and eventually Banner lets himself die, unable to live like that anymore. After Bruce passes on, the Hulk is trapped. If he ever turns back into Banner, he would die as well. It is all very tragic. But the reason why we take you to this depressing timeline is to discuss the fact that the Hulk's invulnerability and endurance allows for him to survive in such harsh environments, to outlive the effects of mass nuclear radiation. He actually grows stronger from more radiation, making exposure to deadly amounts of radiation a beneficial thing for him, although it does tend to drive him insane, but more on that later. And at 7, regeneration. Hulk has the ability to grow new tissue at an exceptionally fast rate, and to regenerate older tissue. He has had one of the fastest regenerative healing factors in the entire Marvel universe, having demonstrated that if he concentrates hard enough, he can grow back parts of his body, like layers and layers of skin in a matter of seconds. Now this can occasionally cause some problems for him. When he fought against Speed Freak, the villain hit him with metal barbs, and the Hulk's skin grew over the barbs, causing it to tear again after the regrowth. It's gotta hurt. Then, in Hulk: The End, he was able to regenerate parts of his body that radioactive cockroaches consumed, which also doesn't sound fun. Plus the angrier he gets, the faster he can regenerate, so kind of a nifty ability to have. And at number 6, resurrection. In Civil War II, the Inhuman Ulysses has a vision of the Hulk killing all of the Avengers. When Bruce Banner, the Hulk's former alter ego, is approached about the situation, he's confronted by members of the Avengers, and Hawkeye in the process kills Banner. But shortly after Civil War II ended, the Hulk had resurrected Banner, as seen in Avengers No Surrender. The comic depicts a whole sequence of all of the times Banner and the Hulk have faced death, intercut with the image of a doorway opening, implying that's how Banner's mind returns after the Hulk's body regenerates once he's been killed off. Does that mean, like, even of old age he'll never really truly die? Or does his mind have to still be, you know, functional and wanting to live? It's a curious question. Moving on to 5, adaptability. The Hulk is one of the most adaptable heroes in comic books. Now because of the speed in which he regenerates tissue, he's able to survive some of the harsher climates, like pressure underwater or the vacuum of outer space. But here is the fun part. He has a gland in his body that creates oxygen to fill his lungs, so when he's underwater or when he's in space, he can function without fear of losing air. His body is also built to sustain extreme amounts of pressure, hence why he's able to walk along the bottom of the ocean, which is a thing he did once. Said neat a lot in this video. And at 4, punching through time. I love a good punch through time number. The Hulk is proven capable of punching his way through temporal and spatial dimensions. Weird, right? The science behind this one is a little bit sketchy if we're being honest, hence why it finds a place on this list. Now, in the Incredible Hulk issue 135, the character came up against Kang the Conqueror and followed him through the time stream and started punching through it so hard that he made it through to the past. In issue 304, he would be banished to another dimension and encountered old foes, the UFOs, which is their name, and punched Ironclad so hard that it would shake the entire multiverse. He also once tore the fabric of reality by using his thunderclap, or rather a sonic clap, which used sound waves that discharged enough of a burst that they could rip apart the very seams of reality, as seen in Incredible Hulk issue 126. He's so strong that he can f with your reality essentially, so maybe don't piss off the Hulk ever. I mean, you wouldn't want to, because you'd probably like you anyway, so. In at 3, honing in on New Mexico. While that might sound like a very strange ability, it's one that makes perfect sense for the Hulk. So, the Hulk is capable of honing in on the place of his superpower origin. This is something we learned about thanks to the Hulk of Future Imperfect, Maestro, a future timeline version of the big green monster who had survived a nuclear war and became a tyrant overlord of sorts, dominating over the planet, collecting trophies of other dead superheroes and villains. He was also completely insane by this point thanks to the extreme amounts of radiation he was absorbing. Anywho, when the Hulk defeats Maestro, he does it by leading him back in time so that he's destroyed by the same gamma bomb that created the Hulk. Therefore, homing in on this spot in New Mexico is because of Maestro's spirit calling out to him. This also ties into 2 other supernatural abilities, so let's move on to those. In at 2, he can see ghosts. So that whole ability to home in on his origin spot in New Mexico, how Maestro's spirit had called out to him since it's the place where he died, well, this is kind of tied to this too, and his ability to see ghosts. Now, this was actually a latent ability of the Hulk's, which first appeared after he accidentally killed his father, whose ghost then haunted him for a while. There's been a bit of a debate as to how exactly the Hulk can see ghosts, hence the confusion surrounding this power. But one answer comes in the form of our next number, and our final number, in at 1, Astral Sight. The Hulk can see individuals on the astral plane. Now, this was first explored in the Defenders when the Hulk interacted with Doctor Strange, who was astral projecting at the time. Others could not perceive Strange's astral form, only Hulk could. While some have linked this ability to Maestro, a more plausible theory has arisen in the form of this ability of the Hulk's being a convenient plot point, which, I mean, yeah. Now, in order to help bring the members of that iteration of Defenders together in a way that made sense, certain editorial choices were made, including having the Hulk be able to see Doctor Strange. But in the story world though, Doctor Strange would speculate that it was a power derivative of some sort of primitive or animalistic aspect of the Hulk's mind, that he could sense a fundamental wrongness in the environment around him, although there wasn't much further elaboration on it. Now, others chalk this up to the fact that he has a heightened sense of perception, and how that allows him to hunt and fight off characters the likes of the Wendigo. Plausible theories. I kinda like the last one. Alright, there we have it, friends. What other powers of the Hulks have baffled you in the past? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts and feels. If you guys dug this video, you know what to do. Spread that love, hit that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love it if you stuck around some more. In the meantime though, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.